I've seen the season 2 finale of Strange New Worlds, and there's a lot I could say about it. There was a lot of things that confused me, but I'm going to limit myself to just 3 so that I can say goodbye to this series. It goes without saying there's going to be spoilers, so if you haven't watched and you don't want to know what happens, come back to the video later. I'm going to talk about the new weapons, the alien, and the cliffhanger. First of all, the weapons. Early in the episode, we established that the threat is the Gorn, and the senior officers are discussing this in Pike's ready room. Pike announces that Starfleet has got some new tech that will help them with this. They've got modifications to phasers, they've got scanners so they can detect the Gorn, and they've got some nitrogen grenades so that they can freeze them. And I guess my observation on this is, why are the senior officers only finding this out after the threat has been established? So the Gorn is an ongoing threat to the whole of the Federation. Why haven't these tech improvements been distributed to all Starfleet staff already? Why haven't all staff been trained? What if they ended up in a situation with the Gorn where there was no time to distribute the weapons? I understand that we as viewers have to be introduced to them, but using the senior officers on the ship as proxies for this, keeping the senior officers in the dark, it just doesn't really make sense. These kind of technical improvements really should be distributed widely before a situation happens, not during a situation. But let's move on. Secondly, we've got the alien. So down on the planet, Pike and Batel are in a room trying to do some engineering stuff, and suddenly they realise there's a Gorn in the room as well. The Gorn is focused on Batel. It looks at her, it growls, it sniffs her a bit, and eventually it leaves. And I know the image on the screen right now is not of Batel, it's of Sigourney Weaver in Alien, and that's because the Gorn looking at Batel is extremely reminiscent of that scene, even down to the framing. I understand that it's cheaper just to shoot the head of a CGI alien or an animatronic alien, or however they're making it, but perhaps it's not really the writer's fault. The Alien franchise is so iconic. Whenever you see aliens in space, you think more of Sigourney Weaver than you do of anything else. But again, very lazy, very derivative, very unoriginal. And that brings us to number 3, the cliffhanger. Now, what is the most famous Star Trek cliffhanger, you say? And if you're a fan of the franchise, you know it's the best of both worlds at the end of The Next Generation Season 3. If you didn't know that, if you haven't seen the best of both worlds, I won't spoil it for you, but here's a shot of Riker. Look at his eyes. Riker is absolutely determined. I'll just say that he's absolutely sure of what he's going to do. He's on the bridge of the Enterprise with all the other characters, and Riker, he's not the captain, except he is right now because of certain circumstances, and he's going to do what's necessary. But although we have a similar situation at the end of Hegemony, Pike is back on the bridge, the main characters are back on the bridge. They've made some progress, but things are suddenly spiralling out of control, and what does Pike do? Well, he's not as decisive as Riker at the end of Best of Both Worlds. In fact, he just stands there and says nothing while Number 1 asks him for orders, and he says nothing, and Number 1 asks him for orders again. And this isn't really what Star Trek is about. It's about taking action and moving forward. And if Pike doesn't know what to do in this situation, why is he captain? Why should the crew take his orders? If it gets down to the serious moments, it gets down to crunch time, and he doesn't know what to do. So at the end of everything, Strange New Worlds takes the decision to destroy its main character. But hey, the season is over, so that we can be grateful for. Thanks for watching.